my tongue is fucked up, so we're gonna do the
Did you
episode.
stick it into the electricity between the pods and a pod racer?
Yeah, I wanted to see how it would taste.
Oh God.
No, I bit my tongue, and
My
then
tongue.
I bit
My
my
tongue,
tongue, and then it
tongue.
got swollen, and then I bit it again. So it's just I'm trying really hard not to bite it, and it's swollen in the back. So I feel like I'm talking like a.
It just gets more and more swollen. You just bite it more and more.
When you fuck your mouth up, it's literally the worst thing that could happen.
Like, when you bite
your tongue and then it swells up, or like you bite the side of your cheek, so then you keep biting it more because it's swollen and bigger, and then you just keep exacerbating the problem.
I really, that's what I'm doing. I'm drinking ice water to try and make the swelling go down, but the problem is it's the back of my tongue, so the only way I can do that is by like choking myself with an ice cube, which is not as erotic as it sounds.
I have some interesting tastes. I don't know what the fuck you said.
I want you to choke me with this ice cube. Wait, what?
Literally the worst thing I've done with my mouth. Phrasing. Boom. This is also going to sound weird, but I went to go drink from like a McDonald's cup, and I kind of went in a weird way where is almost like I was deep throating it. And the straw, I went in with such force that the straw poked me at the little like hinge in between my jaws.
Oh no!
Like all the way in the back there, and it just hurt and bled, and it was the worst.
Oh my God. I hate it when I grind my teeth, my front teeth, my back teeth, whatever, but the pointy front teeth. Ugh.
Welcome to Tutor I Hardly Know Her, the hit podcast about dental woes and the weird things you can do with your mouth.
Welcome to Tutor I Hardly Know Her, where we hardly talk about the tutors.
Welcome to the Tutor I Hardly Know Her.
Should be the new tagline for the show.
Where we hardly talk about the tutors.
Exactly.
I mean, okay.
It's getting more and more.
We will get less listeners.
I think we'll get
Maybe?
less bitchy
Who knows?
people who complain about us not being boring. And when we talk about other stuff. I'm writing down hardly talk about the tutors so I don't forget it. Let me tell you.
All right, put that in the description, Jeff.
New mom brain is a thing, guys. I have forgotten words in the middle of saying them. So
Whenever I talk, I can't finish my sentence with the correct banana.
yeah, so this is gonna be a real good. So it's really perfect for somebody whose entire thing is talking. So
We'll figure it out.
yeah, I mean, it's just part of adapting to this new life.
Tell you what, I've got a bold new plan for podcasting. You start telling us a story about the tutors, and like it'll be very informative, but then you blank out at the most important part, and then Jeff and I will try to fill it in. It's kind of like history Mad Libs.
I like that, but it makes me think of like predictive speech for iPhones and shit.
That would be amazing. Predictive speech with Henry VIII.
Oh my God. I kind of want to just pull up my phone and just do this whole episode through predictive speech. All right, wait. I'm going to try and tell you guys what today's topic is through predictive speech.
And by the way, everyone out there, if you're listening to this, pull up your phone, type in Henry VIII, and then just predictive text. It's not
Okay.
speech, it's text. But
So
do that.
Hit the middle word every time.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So today's episode is Anne was a great night. And we got a lot going to do it all night long.
Do you smell burnt toast?
So today's episode is about Anne was a great night and we got a lot going to do it all night long.
Kinky?
All night long. All night long. Okay.
Send us your best Henry VIII predictive texts, and
Yeah, guys.
we'll share them with everybody. It sounds hilarious.
I hope it's not the same for everybody.
I
If they
don't-
all started with Henry, what? Henry? Because if I
Henry
do
or
it,
Anne, whatever one of these fictional characters you want to talk about.
all right, Henry was a great night. Everything wants
We
to
know that's not true.
We know that's not true. Okay, but
Henry the 8th grade. I had a good day at the moment.
Ugh.
I don't
They
know.
did have a good day at the moment,
Yeah. Apparently Henry VIII grade.
and then they got mad.
He's only a grade 8.
All right. I don't. How do you turn that on? The predictive
Je ne sais pas.
text.
Are you guys ready for today's topic, though?
Yeah, let's talk about what we're actually
Yeah.
going to be talking about.
Okay, this is the first time I've done research since the baby was born, because the last episode was just a review.
Okay. Wait. Hold on. I got it.
Okay.
Henry the Eighth Day. You were going on the day of it. I was really excited about it, and it then again, and then I'll try and get a good deal on that.
Henry the Preposition Man. Oh, thank you, Garrett. Today was the first day I was able to do research, and I'm really sorry about the yawns, guys. Like, I swear, new baby. I'm very interested. I meant to make coffee, but forgot. So, got some research done. It only took me 4 hours with lots of breaks, so that's okay. But today we are going to talk about Anne Boleyn and her relationship with Henry Percy. Do you guys remember him? Yay? Nay? No?
No.
Okay. Quick refresher. Anne Boleyn was said to have a relationship with Henry Percy before she and Henry VIII hooked up, and things did not go as planned. Hence,
Obviously.
the Henry VIII marriage, and then the very happy ending to that wedding.
Oh, happy ending.
Okay, so Henry Percy was the, oh God, I'm going to have to say this word. It's going to be really hard with my tongue. 6th Earl of
The
Northumberland.
6th.
6th after the 5th.
Okay.
Earl of Northumberland. It's going to be really, oh man.
It's going to be all the time.
It's going to be a really good episode.
People are going to be very concerned about you if they
They
don't know what's
are.
going on.
So this is kind of cool because when I was researching him, it was the first time I researched a man, and the first Wikipedia sentence was about him and his relation to a woman. So usually women, it's like Anne Boleyn was the wife of Henry VIII. This is the first man I've seen on Wikipedia in our research where it was known for his relationship to a woman. So bravo, Anne Boleyn and Henry Percy, you little bitch. And you guys are going to agree with me. Percy's a little bitch. Like, he's just like I just picture him as like this snivelly little like weak-willed bitch.
My name is Henry Percy.
Yeah, like he invented glasses so he could push them up the bridge of his nose. And like he created pockets so he could have a pocket protector. Like
Oh, so you're thinking just like bookworm nerd kind of
no,
guy.
just like spineless, like he wants to like if it was high school, if Henry VIII was a jock and Anne Boleyn was the popular cheerleader who was just a little bit like she was just like a little bit weird, different from all the other cheerleaders, but still liked. Henry Percy would be the secretly sexy nerd who got beaten up by the jocks every day. Why isn't this a fucking movie? All right, we're going to make that movie.
It's not?
No, we're going to make that movie. So he was betrothed.
10 things I hate about Percy.
Number 1, he a bitch. He was betrothed to Anne Boleyn. And that's pretty much what he's known for. So he was
Great accomplishment in life.
good job.
You almost hit that.
What? Oh, you almost hit that. I thought you were talking to me about hitting the microphone. I was like, no, I didn't. He was born around 1502-ish. I'd also like to applaud history for not giving a shit about what year he was born. And interesting fact, he was the cousin of William Carey. He was the man who married Mary Boleyn. He was played by Andrew Garfield? No. Yes, Andrew Garfield in The Other Boleyn Girl. So when he was a boy, he was sent to court to hang out with Thomas Wolsey. He was his page. Evelyn has thoughts on that. He was sent to be a page at the court of Thomas Wolsey. So I think Wolsey had like a mini court as a cardinal, which is technically like a prince, but if you were in church. So we're going to go with that. And then in 1519, he was knighted. And I started writing a sentence, but then I must have gotten bored because I only wrote Percy's early life mostly. Oh, that's what it was. We know most of Percy's early life through the lens of Wolsey because nobody's going to write a fucking biography about this little guy. So George Cavendish wrote a biography about Wolsey, and it was, I think, shortly after Wolsey was executed, and it was like very pro-Wolsey. So obviously a little bit, god damn it, these yawns. Obviously a little bit tainted by whoever was writing it. So anywho, on to his relationships that fucked him over. But then did. In 1516, he was, his father contracted him to marry Talbot. And I would like to point out the romance of being contracted to somebody. You are marrying this woman. Here's a paper. Sign it. Goodbye.
Here's his legal pack. There you go. Have fun.
Yeah. And Anne Boleyn was also intended for James Butler. That was meant to settle. Drink every time Emily yawns. Anne was also contracted or betrothed or intended for James Butler. And he was going to inherit an earldom, and it was a disputed earldom between her father and his father because they were both descended from the same line. So they were like, just marry your cousin. That'll fix the issue. Anyway, she was intended to marry James Butler. I don't know if a contract was ever made because that's not what this fucking episode's about, okay?
Not about contracts.
Not about contracts. Legal disputes. God, that would be the most
I like
boring.
the idea of like the
We
first,
need to get a lawyer on here.
like when they're having sex, they're like reading off some like legal jargon about the procedure of this, how this will continue and be finalized. And we have to make sure that when we're done, we notarize this sexual encounter.
Gross.
Hold
Yes.
on. New show idea. We haven't had one of these in a while. New TV show, movie idea. I think a TV show. I'm feeling a Netflix series.
Ooh.
It's a court procedural drama with Henry VIII. And every episode ends with somebody getting beheaded.
Does it have the bong bong?
It's got the bong bong.
Gotta have the bong bong.
Gotta have the bong
Dong
bong.
dong. Actually, I think that's technically called the dong dong. No, the donk donk. Fuck, what is it?
It's called the dong dong in the porn parody.
Oh my god, that is horrible. Okay, wait.
Good night, everybody.
We gotta cast it. We can't go down this rabbit hole without casting this show created by Dick Wolf. All right. Who is the Ice-T of this world?
Ice-T.
Ice-T.
Ice-T's always available. He's not doing anything else.
No, he's not playing a character. He is just Ice-T, or just his character from SVU.
All right, who's the
So
hard-hitting?
wait, you mean to tell me that this man wants to divorce his wife so we can marry another woman? That's sick.
Law and Order, Henry's victim unit. Let's go with that. I'd watch the shit out of it.
You know, I was gonna say that Henry could be played by Vincent D'Onofrio, and that works because he's already in Law and Order.
I don't know who Vincent D'Onofrio is off the top of my head.
I would say the Kingpin from Daredevil, but he played the bug guy from Men in Black.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he would be.
He had that bit role in Jurassic World.
Wait, who is he in Law and Order? Is he in the original Law and Order? Because I only really do
Criminal Intent, the one that nobody likes.
I only do Special Victims Unit.
I mean, come on.
Is there
Is there
one?
another Law and Order other than Special Victims Unit?
Okay, yeah. So who's Vincent D'Onofrio gonna play?
He'll play Henry.
Okay, I approve. All right, this could be a good show. Let's rock it.
Yeah.
Back to before the trial. So Anne arrived in court around 1522, and it was around this time that Henry Percy fell in love with her, and she was, fuck, I just bit my tongue again. She was either 21 or 26, because remember, she was a woman, so nobody cared about what year she was born. And then Henry was like, make sure you burn all her records. But that was kind of old to not be married. Even 21 was kind of old to not be married, so it's a little weird. But either way, they fell in love, and Percy was like, I want to make you, I believe a countess is a woman married to an earl. Is that a countess? Yes, it is, because Downton Abbey tells me so.
I'm glad I could help.
Thank you, Jeffrey. That was
with
very
my
helpful.
stare. My blank stare.
Your
got
eyebrows
you the
went
answer.
up a little bit. So in 1523, they became secretly betrothed. And as a reminder, betrothal was simply saying, in front of somebody else, I'm going to marry you. I'm going to marry you. We're married. Let's fuck. Good,
Cool.
you're married. Kiss her. So their entire relationship was a secret. And then as a reminder, all of this comes from George Cavendish. So Wolsey is definitely painted in the good light. And there's probably some twisted facts in it, but these are the facts as we know them. Henry, the king, discovered Anne and Henry Percy were a thing, and he grew quote unquote distraught over it. So he told Wolsey, could you break them up for me? Side note, it's believed that Henry and Anne's relationship didn't start until 1526. So this is 3 years before their relationship started. So a couple of thoughts on this. One, either he was pining after Anne for 3 years, which I really don't believe. Two, their relationship started in 1523 or shortly thereafter, and it's just not recorded, which is possible because, burn all of Anne's records. Or three, Henry was really just pissed that one of his noblemen was going to get married without his permission, which they had to get his permission. So not quite sure which one to believe. It depends on which Henry you want to look at. So, according to George Cavendish, though, Henry supposedly revealed his secret love to Wolsey, Henry VIII, and told him to end their engagement. And so Wolsey told off Percy in front of his entire household because Percy was one of his page boys. Not, oh man, I almost made a Macaulay Culkin joke, but that was the page master. All right. Here's what he has said. I was going to write down the whole damn thing, but then it got ridiculous. So I'm just going to read the first part of it because it's kind of funny, and then I'm going to summarize the rest. Wolsey said, I'm amazed at your foolishness in getting entangled, even engaged to this silly girl at court. I mean Anne Boleyn, in case there were a million other silly girls. Have you not considered your position? After the death of your noble father, you stand to inherit one of the greatest earldoms in the country. It would thus then have been more proper if you had sought the consent of your father in this affair, and to have made his highness the king privy to it, requesting his royal blessing. Had you done so, he would not only have welcomed your request, but would, I can assure you, have promoted you to a position more suitable to your state. So he's like, look, the king's an understanding man. If you'd gone to him and be like, yo, king, we're in love, he would have said, I don't give a fuck. You're not marrying her if she's below your station. Blah, blah, blah. And thence, we need to bring that word back into the American lexicon. Thence, you might have gained the king's favor by your conduct and wise counsel, and thus risen further still in his estimation. So he basically was like, you pissed off your father, you pissed off the king, you pledged yourself to somebody who is neither you pledged yourself to someone that neither your father or the king can agree would be suitable for you. So then he called the Earl of Northumberland and told him to tell his idiotic son off, and he did. And basically said, the Earl basically said Anne wasn't good enough. And he is said to have famously told his son, "You have always been a proud, presumptuous, headstrong wastrel." So that's a very fun insult that I think should also be brought back to the American lexicon. Am I using that word correctly? Somebody,
Lexicon?
yeah,
Yeah, it's like
that's what I thought. I just want to be sure.
I can't think of the word for it. We are all brain dead this show.
We're very good at
Yep.
this. Anyway, Wolsey then dissolved the engagement. He was like, "An hour happened," so that was convenient. Not just kidding. Anne was pissed, and she was like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna get you." So Percy then had to marry the woman Mary Talbot in around 1524, 1525. Not sure quite when. Wasn't a super happy marriage, as you can guess. Wolsey then put his own men in Percy's household so he could continue to try to control Percy because he's a weak ass bitch. By the way, when Northumberland, his father, and Wolsey were yelling at him, he was just basically like trembling and like, "I'm sorry, please don't hate me." 1527, that's when his dad died, so he inherited the earldom of Northumberland. So he was 25 years old. His very, very, very happy marriage continued to be very, very happy. He was angry at his wife for her quote unquote malicious acts and lies, and he claimed she was spying for Norfolk. Her father then came and said that he was abusing her and even trying to poison her. Percy's response was to say, "Okay, you're never fucking seeing her or speaking to your daughter again because she's my property." Yay. So he did stand up to him once, but still he's kind of a little bitch. Mary was getting real sick of his shit. So around 1532, she said that he had had a pre-contract with Anne. She told her father, who then told Norfolk. And remember, Norfolk was Anne's uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And this was 1532 when their family was rising. So he went on to make sure that this was going to get nipped in the bud. So he told Anne. And Anne was like, "This is blasphemous. I want an inquiry to clear my honorable name." And so that kind of helped. And then Percy was like, "I swear to God, it wasn't true." And they stayed married. And then in 1536, the year of hell, Percy announced that he fucking hated his brother and he didn't have children. So when he died, the king was going to get his fortune. So Percy had been sick almost his entire life. He apparently had some sort of like ague-like illnesses. He was very feverish and shivery all the time. So, I mean, it just backs up that little bitchy, nerdy kid in school who gets picked on. He and Mary continued to be married, but they hated each other, so they possibly lived apart. Percy also sucked as a human being because he was in tons of debt, and he just didn't have a good time. Wolsey was very patronizing to him and didn't allow him at court very often. Even when his father died, he was like, "Nah, you stay there." Oh, he was still pretty active in court, though. In 1530, he was given a message to arrest Wolsey, which that had to have felt a little bit good. And he remained behind to inventory all of Wolsey's goods. So he went through all his shit and wrote down what it was. Then he advocated for Henry's divorce by signing a letter to the Pope being like, "Could you hurry this along? Henry's getting antsy." He didn't seem to have much loyalty because in 1534 his brother-in-law was put on trial and he was part of the jury. And then famously in 1536 when Anne Boleyn was going down, he was part of the jury that convicted her. So I started thinking about this. You guys remember how I think Thomas Boleyn is a little bitch for abandoning his family?
Yeah.
Mhm.
After that episode, one of our listeners pointed out that Thomas Boleyn I was probably being a little bit unfair to him because Thomas Boleyn was still a courtier. He probably knew that his children were that they were gonna go down, and stepping in wouldn't have done anything but bring him and his wife further down than they already were, because like they may not have been in favor, but they weren't getting beheaded with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I started thinking about this, and I'm wondering if Percy was just kind of like, fuck, well, the king said I gotta be on this jury, so I gotta be on this jury. And that's supported just a little bit, because when the verdict was read, Percy collapsed and had to be carried out. I'd like to point out that Percy collapsed and Anne Boleyn remained upright and was like, fuck, okay. So, Percy's a bitch.
Ooh.
Oh
my.
Where's my fainting couch? He still had pretty shitty health. Then the Pilgrimage of Grace happened. His brother and his mother sympathized with the rebels, but Percy was still loyal to the king. When the rebels came to him and tried to take his land, he refused to surrender it. And so the rebels were like, let's take his head off. Luckily, the guy in charge of them, Ask, was like, we're gonna ship you off to York so you're a little safer. But he ended up dying there in 1537. So he didn't have a long life, and he's most famously known for maybe boinking Anne, because that is a topic up for debate. So if they had been betrothed, then they could have legally boinked, because betrothal is essentially marriage. If they hadn't been betrothed, then they still could have boinked, but they shouldn't have. So it's really about whether or not they were betrothed or not, because we really only have the accusation from the bitter wife and then George Cavendish, who's trying to make Wolsey look good.
Yeah.
So, one of history's mysteries, guys. And that's it. That was a very exciting episode. You guys were very engaging.
Woo!
Well, once again, very sleepy, very out of it.
Yeah. Garrett's working hard with that infant he's got.
Whoa. Don't shame me for not having a baby.
No shame. But he does
No shame in this game.
Garrett does have a new baby. It's a new house.
I do. It's very great.
We're all happy for Garrett.
Thanks.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Let's take some questions from the audience.
Cricket.
Use your predictive text to ask us questions.
Oh, yes. Use predictive text for everything, guys. Just send us your predictive texts. That's the kind of shit we want. That's it.
Cool.
Glad I could entertain you guys.
Yeah, I didn't know if we had any questions or anything like that from social media recently.
Nope.
I don't think there was, but
nope. Just because we've kind of been on weird.
We've been gone for a while. Everyone's probably trying to get back to us now.
Yep. We'll have a better.
We do see everyone's suggestions for more episodes. We've had some really good suggestions lately.
We do. We have 2 that I'm very excited for, but they are very in depth, and I need to do my research, because one could definitely be a little bit what's that word?
Difficult?
No. What's it called when something could make people angry?
Controversial? Sensitive?
I guess sensitive. Let's go with sensitive.
Hey, I said that.
I didn't hear you. Jeff's next to me.
I'm louder.
Sorry, Garrett. Thank you, Garrett. Sensitive.
Yeah, anytime.
But I'm very excited to do those episodes. They are on the docket. I just have to get to it. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, because
I'll have to wait.
Still kind of getting into this groove again of recording episodes
and
trying to release them. So they're not going to be weekly just yet.
We're gonna aim for bi-weekly, but
or it's just going to release episodes when we can,
as the baby allows.
Yeah.
So
it won't be like every Wednesday like you used to be. It'll probably just be like when Jeffrey can get the episode out.
But guys, I swear to God, I love doing this. So we're not abandoning you. We're just working out how to fit this into our new routine.
Yep. So just make sure you actually subscribe for any notifications of new episodes.
Yep.
So that would be the best way to find out when we release one.
And keep talking to us on social, because I do see your messages. And when I'm up at 3 a.m. feeding her, I need something to do. So
yeah,
I'll respond to your
messages. Especially for our international listeners who are probably awake already during that time.
We could
Message us
chat.
then, because Emily will be awake.
I will. she wakes up pretty regularly. So
Maybe you've got an international baby.
I do. She's from Australia.
Crikey. I suck milk out the tit the other way.
What did you just say?
I made a joke about her, when she's breastfeeding, the milk drains
okay.
out in the other direction.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, well, I think that's it, guys.
Yeah, Tudor Hardly Know Her on Facebook, at Tudor Know Her on Twitter. That's where you can find us.
Rate and review and subscribe, please.
Yes, please.
Yes, and tell your friends.
And then
And then your friends' friends.
and
Or
then-
if you hate us, don't tell your friends.
or if you hate us, tell your enemies.
Oh, yeah. It's like, yay, you know what, idiot? Guess what? There's this podcast you'd probably like called Tudor I Hardly Know Her, you big nerd. And
You loser.
It sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're okay with that.
Yeah.
Use our
Bring-
podcast for
bring-
your enemy.
If you want to torture people, make them listen to our podcast.
It's like, are you going to kill me? No, I am going to torture you for a while. And it's like a James Bond scenario where they've got him tied up on a gurney or something, and they start playing.
How did our,
Oh no!
They don't even talk about the Tudors half the time.
it took them 10 minutes to start talking about the Tudors.
They think they're so funny. All right, everyone. Until next time, divorced, beheaded,
Died,
divorced,
divorced, beheaded,
beheaded,
survived.
survived.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.